know eternity. Seek an open mind, the ideal of vacuity. Seek composure, the essence of tranquility. All things are in process, rising and returning. Plants blossom for a season, then return to the root. In returning to the root, we find tranquility. This leads to our destiny, which is eternity. To know eternity is enlightenment. To ignore eternity is to invite calamity. Knowing eternity means seeing the big picture. Seeing the big picture is broad-minded. Breadth of vision brings nobility. Nobility is close to divinity. The Tao is divine. The Tao is eternal. Death is not to be feared. That is chapter 16 of the Tao Te Ching, and it brings with it a sobering reminder that someday you're going to die. Our time is finite, every single one of us. This is another reality of the human condition. We are rising and we are returning. We are coming from somewhere that is unknown before birth. We don't know what our face looked like before our parents were born. And similarly, we have no idea what we look like after we're gone. But it is our destiny. We are headed in that direction. And to ignore that, this book says, is to invite calamity. The calamity that could be caused, the disaster that could happen, isn't necessarily to you. I'm particularly concerned with, and by concerned I don't mean worried, I mean focused on, what these lessons offer us intergenerationally. Not how can the Tao Te Ching make life better in the next 10 minutes, 10 months, or even 10 years, but what does this look like for our children and for our children's children? And whether you personally have kids or not, we are each parents to the next generation. We contribute to the next generation in some way. Knowing eternity means seeing the big picture, but there are limits as finite beings on how much of the big picture we can see. Knowing eternity is something we are all going to do, but by the time we get there, it's very unlikely we're going to be able to do much to come back from that void and make a difference. No one's done it so far. There is this one guy, but we don't really know where that stands right now, right? I'm not going to confuse the religious history with the lesson itself. What do we do with this situation? Where we have a calling to know eternity, to see the big picture, but the state of actually attaining that means that we can no longer bring it back from our journey and share it with anyone else. There are a few recommendations right in the first stanza of this passage. Seek an open mind. Every single person is different. We have different priorities, we have different values, we have different things that bring about health, happiness, satisfaction, a better life. How we define that is the work of a lifetime. It's something that each of us are going through. Seeking an open mind as a pathway to improve life for us and for future generations means accepting those differences. And there's only one system, social system, economic system, that allows for those differences to exist, for the seeking of an open mind to happen. And that's capitalism. Capitalism is the free exchange of value among consenting people, where the proper role of government is to protect that human right of consent. As we each go about the process of rising and returning, change is a constant. The challenges that we face today are different than the challenges that will be faced 100 years from now and 1,000 years from now by humanity. The most flexible system that can adapt to change, that is consistent with the realities we face, is the one that we should adopt.